Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sixth Report. I'm here with Brian Skanderbeg, President and CEO of GFG Resources, to discuss the recent news release. And Brian, the news we are discussing is that GFG has received the final 5 drill hole assays from the 2022 Phase 2 drill program. Can you elaborate further on what your team discovered?
Yeah, good morning, Kyle. Look, we put our press release yesterday, and the 5 holes ultimately drive the final results from 2022. These were both step outs to the east at the Montclerg property and some new drill holes published at the Aljo Target, which is 30 kilometers away. So what we're trying to do is really grow the system and grow the eastern extension of the Montclerg deposit. Some really encouraging results from those holes this morning, those 2 step out holes. And equally so from the Aljo Target as well. So yeah, these are the final results that we put out from the 2022 program.
Thank you. And now this is the first time your team actually drilled at the Aljo mine target, correct? Can you talk about this target further and why your team decided to drill there in the first place?
Yeah, when we look at the property position we put together in Timmins, it's about 30 kilometers in strike length, and the main focus to date has been at Montclerg, and we drilled about 11,000 meters on that target and have some really encouraging results growing a system. Since acquiring Montclerg, we've always had a vision within the greater Gold Bond property that there's a whole pipeline of targets along the Pipestone Deformation Zone. And Aljo is one of those that was at the top of our priority list. There was some historic mine workings going back to the 30s. There was some drill holes in the 90s that had sort of ounce to multi-ounce hits over economic widths, and we really quite like this target. So we prioritized it based on some of the historic work, the high grades, the structural setting, and analogies that we can draw to other deposits along the Pipestone. So within our pipeline of drill-ready targets, Aljo really rose to the top. The results that we published, very high grade, amongst the highest drill holes results to date yet from our property. Multiple stacked vein systems at shallow depths, and also some broader lower grade mineralization associated with it. So, for me, when we look at 3 holes, first test of this target, really encouraged by what we saw at Aljo.
Thank you. And in this press release, you were quoted stating that the final drill holes were higher risk by design. Now that you see the potential in Aljo, does that change your strategy going forward?
Yeah, when we think about our dollar allocation of an exploration budget, I'm a person, a manager, CEO that likes to see a weighting between brownfield and greenfield allocation, maybe 70-30 split. And as we advanced drilling and built the target pipeline, we took a first step on some of these regional targets. And that weighting to a target like Aljo, is a good complement to the brownfield drilling. We certainly like the splits out there, and we'll continue with drilling at Aljo, but also allocate to some of the other regional targets that we're developing across the property block, the Car Porphyry or the Pipestone break further to the east of Montclerg. These are some of the other targets that we will continue to allocate 20 to 30% of our meterage to, and I think that's just an appropriately balanced exploration program.
Thank you. In the press release, I also noted it stated that drilling east of Montclerg, the gold system there is very limited. Why is that exactly?
Most of this land position is covered in till, 15, 20, 25 meters of till. And if you looked at the exploration history out here going to the east from Montclerg, basically no outcrops. Montclerg as a deposit was discovered in the 30s. It was discovered on an outcrop in a creek. And essentially that's one of the very few outcrops around. So as luck would have it, 1930s, the prospector stumbled upon this zone exposed in a creek, and ultimately that became the Montclerg gold system. As we go east, there's no creeks. There's not really much for drainages there. And as a consequence, there's very, very little outcrop. And I do think that drives the exploration history historically. And so we have arrived today to an area where pretty flat till veneer cover, limited outcrop, few signs of mineralization that you could look at on surface. And so for us, that kind of preserves the potential. And ultimately, that's why we put Gold Farm together. And it's why we believe moving to the east of Montclerg has very strong prospectivity, both understanding the geology, but understanding the exploration history of that area. So it remains very immature, but from the drilling we've done to date, we see great potential going to the east from Montclerg as well.
Brian, we appreciate the update. Where can people learn more about the GFG resource story?
Yeah, look, our website's always got a lot of information, updated decks, links to interviews from SIX or from our various other conference presentations that I've done. Phone's always an easy thing to do to our office in Saskatoon. Either myself or Mark LePage would always be happy to talk to a shareholder or an interested party to talk more about GFG. So our website and our main office in Saskatoon is the best way to get a hold of us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.